LeBron under fire by Lakers ownership.
I would say loyalty means shit.
Why Jeanie Buss has questionable resentment, a classic case of being born on third base and thinking you hit a triple. I'm Doug Kezirian. This is Hard Pass, also available in podcast. It's not often LeBron rightfully comes across as a victim, but that's exactly the situation right now, thanks to an ESPN article airing all sorts of dirty laundry from the Lakers, detailing drama and tension within the front office and ownership. The Buss family has been a circus of mind games and backstabbing within each other amongst the siblings, all leading up to the franchise's recent sale for $10 billion. ESPN's Baxter Holmes reports that Jeanie Buss has serious beef towards LeBron.
I thought it was good, but, you know, somebody can see it another way. So it's always two sides of the coin. So, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, how I represented this franchise and what I wanted to do to represent this franchise, so when I got here till now, has been with the utmost respect and honor and dignity, and I would say loyalty means shit.
The ESPN piece alleges that Jeanie Buss resented LeBron regarding essentially four main issues: his outsized ego, that he's viewed as a franchise savior, avoiding any blame for the failed Russell Westbrook trade, and being ungrateful for the team drafting his son, Bronny. Let's start with the outsized ego, which, I don't know, don't you expect that when you're dealing with one of the all-time greats of the sport? Don't you need that type of ego to be the face of such a storied franchise, much like Kobe was?
I'm reading between the lines, and this, like I said, it's making me really uncomfortable. To speak on a guy's, ego as a professional athlete. I mean, if his ego bothers you, that means you're egotistical as well. So that kind of contradicts itself.
To be blunt, she really should not have any ego. She has power, yes, but she was born into a rich family and just proved to be more competent, driven, and conniving than her unimpressive siblings. And let's be honest, the Lakers were an absolute joke when LeBron arrived in LA, missing the playoffs for 5 straight years. But he chose them because he wanted to move his kids and his empire to LA.
Jeanie, not only did you get LeBron in 2019 without having to do any work, you also got Anthony Davis and got a championship. And in the process of getting Anthony Davis, you was able to trade him and parlay into that to Luka Doncic. Without LeBron James, you get none of this. Name a great athlete that you don't believe have an ego. If you give up control, that's on you. But you know why you really gave him that control? Because you knew it was good for business. Once Kobe left, who was looking for the Lakers?
So yes, in many ways, LeBron did save the Lakers. So it makes sense that LeBron is viewed as a savior despite the rich history well before he arrived.
As far as him being a savior, he was a savior. Nobody wanted to go to the Lakers before LeBron got there. And if y'all don't remember, I do. I'm old enough to remember. I was actually in the league. The Clippers were running LA at that time. So to comment on your comment, yeah, LeBron was the savior. He made the Lakers cool again. He made people want to come play for the Lakers.
Now, Jeanie Buss did step in 2017, put the franchise first ahead of her family, fired her brother and longtime general manager Mitch Kupchak. She did what she felt was necessary, and sometimes you have to upset the family if they're unwilling to acknowledge their own ineptitude. So she deserves credit for that. Remember, Jim Buss had this doozy of a comment in 1998 since he was in charge of scouting. Evaluating basketball talent is not too difficult. If you grabbed 10 fans out of a bar and asked them to rate prospects, their opinions would be pretty much identical to those of the pro scouts. This is what happens with nepotism, right? It happens across a lot of sports. We've seen it. They are just out of their element, and the owner's children just can't hang, and their dad or the parents made all the money and they're just not up to the task. And eventually, in this case, Jeanie had to step in, even manipulating her siblings to get the necessary minimum 4 of 6 votes.
To get control of the franchise, she partnered with her 2 younger brothers and her sister and used that 4-2 leverage to get her 2 older brothers out. And, you could argue that was a really good move. that getting those, Jim out from basketball operations was a good move. I mean, they won the championship several years later. Like, they were underperforming with him in the job.
Perhaps she wanted credit for this because she rolled up her sleeves, got her hands dirty at the expense of burning bridges with family members.
Entirely plausible that Jeanie Buss may have felt that LeBron James should have been more appreciative. It is the Lakers, after all, and that brand means something. It wasn't like he was playing for the Clippers now. It wasn't like he was playing for the Clippers. Okay? Lakers is a different brand. We have to understand that. But he still came there. And he delivered.
What LeBron delivered was an NBA championship, which was nowhere close to occurring had he not gone and chosen LA. Now, she should get some credit for hiring Rob Pelinka as general manager, because that was certainly an outside-the-box hire, given he was a player agent. But I would argue LeBron orchestrated that Anthony Davis trade. Remember, both clutch clients, and then pretty much any other GM could have made that move, right? Signed on the dotted line. Remember, just 1 year after he was hired, Magic Johnson resigned as executive vice president of basketball operations because he felt Pelinka backstabbed him, is what he said on First Take. So nonetheless, this ordeal produced a ring, which essentially is all that matters.
The reason LeBron considered the Lakers a floundering franchise is because before he got there, they were a floundering franchise. And the reason he considered himself a savior was because within 2 years of getting there, they won the championship.
Perhaps it could have been more rings if they never made the Westbrook trade and kept those key role players instead. Jeanie Buss was upset that LeBron avoided taking blame for that deal, and somehow I'm agreeing with Draymond Green.
To point the blame solely at a player and say, yo, he didn't take responsibility, he didn't take accountability, I don't know if I could just roll with that. Because I know they'll say no in a heartbeat to anything. Like, everything's not a yes. So I don't know that I buy that we're just going to throw that to a player.
And the last part about Bronny, we all know this was nepotism, but how do you define the appropriate amount of gratefulness? Again, I agree with Draymond.
Do you bow down and, like, kiss the ring? Say thank you, you're appreciative. I've seen Bron speak out about how he's appreciative to the organization, giving Bronny a chance.
When millionaires or billionaires and powerful people are involved, there's always going to be some element of resentment. Now, Jeanie Buss is an interesting case because she's clearly more capable than her siblings, but she did some serious maneuvering and swindling to protect herself.
She partnered with half of her family and leveraged them out. And then 8 years later, the way Baxter describes it in this story, she flopped around and partnered with her older siblings to leverage out her younger sibling.
Now, these latest gymnastics just made it all seem that much more like the HBO series Succession. She secretly ushered the sale to Mark Walter for $10 billion, which prevented her two much younger half-brothers from running the team down the road when the others got older.
Jeanie Buss and Jesse Buss, her younger sibling, spoke over the phone. And for whatever reason, I was told she brought up this alleged promise that had been made years earlier by Dr. Buss with her mother, Joanne, that he would never have kids with anybody else. And for whatever reason, she brought this up on this phone call, sources tell me, and said to Jesse, you should have never been born. Word about this made the rounds in the organization, and as one source told me, that marked the beginning of the end.
And second, she got herself a 5-year deal as governor of the Lakers, relegating all her siblings to very minority owners and being fired. They each got tons of money, and maybe stepping away from the Lakers will repair some family dynamics. But Jeanie clearly has always looked out for number one and even resented LeBron when she didn't get what she thought she deserved enough of the credit for the Lakers' success.